First off, I have to say congratulations to the both of you. When I started watching this film, I was completely drawn in and very captured by the environment, the acting. I mean, everything was really spectacular. But one thing that really stood out to me was the title of this film, Birds of Passage. Can you explain a little bit what that title means to this film, and how does that correlate to the cantos?
Yeah, well, when we're looking for a title, we want like titles that have different layers of meaning. It's not just one thing that you can obviously grasp, but it hopefully opens windows into different aspects of the film. So it's a title that has many meanings. On the one hand, birds are a very important part of Wayuu mythology. They are the creators of the world, the ones that bring the omens of the future, the first word messengers, and they are the inspiration for a lot of the Wayuu iconography. But also the title refers to the appearance of these birds of metal that eventually started showing in this desert, and for all the world starting to arrive in a way. A bird is also in Colombia. It has a particular significance of being a word used in the past for a man with a gun. But also it speaks of these massive bonanzas that come and go, like migratory birds. There's this power and this money, and that comes and sort of rushes everything, and then leaves, usually leaves nothing behind. It's also a way to speak of the transitory nature of human existence. So yeah, it's a title that has as many meanings as you can give it, and hopefully every spectator will have a different interpretation of the title.
So the very beginning of this film starts with a canto, and then you break it down into 5 different ones. Why did you decide to do that, and what is that significant? What is the significance of that?
When we decided to do this movie, we had the reference of the gangster cinema, but also the reference to the Greek tragedy. And the Greek tragedy is divided in chapters. Since we started in the script process, the film was divided by chapters. But as we go deep in the research, and also we find this figure of the Hayeshi singer, that is the ones who sings the histories of the Wayuu people, and he would tell the history, and it's like a narrator, like the Homero, like this figure who is telling the histories. So we adapt these chapters to the songs to construct the films in these 5 songs that are singed, that are told by this singer that is telling the histories of the Wayuu people, and we put it together, the idea, with this narrator of our tragedy.
Has your perspective of dreams changed since directing this film?
Yes. One thing that has been common throughout our filmography when we have worked with indigenous peoples is that most Native American peoples give a large importance to dreams. It's an aspect of they see it as the other half of reality, and it's as real as the reality that we wake up to every day. So the fact that our society has sort of doesn't give that much importance, and dreams are sort of swept under the rug, and eventually have only they have some unconscious meaning, but they are not part of life, and the way these communities look at them as a really important part of life, I think it has definitely enriched us. And there are many aspects of reality that science and rational thinking cannot explain, or cannot give a satisfactory explanation to, and are deep questions of the human soul, and it's usually what art tries to deal with. But the fact that we are coming from this country, which is a mestizo country, in which the indigenous way of thinking has so much influence, even though most people don't acknowledge it or don't know where it comes from. It gives us another view of the world, and I think cinema is very close to dreams in that sense. But cinema is a dream-like experience, so I think it's the ideal medium to portray this way of thinking.
The ending left me at the edge of my seat. There was something very unexpected that happened at the end that I didn't think would happen. But there's still someone out there seeking revenge. Is there a possibility of a sequel maybe for this film?
Could be. Yes, when we were writing and thinking about the end of the film, and this idea or this image of the little girl that was, I don't want to spoil the film, but but it's, that she was in the end starting again of the history of his family maybe. And yes, now there's not any idea of a sequel, but it could be. It's a film that brings it's an open to a new world also. It could be.
Yeah, it's an open ending in the sense that this story goes on, and this story becomes a much more complex and sprawling tale. But we wanted to tell the beginning of everything that came afterwards. And if you want to see what happened later, you just say that there's lots of literature and films on everything that on the decades later for Colombia. But we just bringing we just wanted to leave the ending of the film just to see that that was the beginning of everything that came afterwards.
Yes, and there's many people saying, why do you don't make a series about all of this work? But maybe this is something that we will gonna explore also later.